So, what happens when a woman becomes her own witness? When the wedding photos become memoir chapters? When the husband becomes a footnote? When even the world's famous family can't save her from the work of coming home to herself? My guest today married the brother of one of the most famous women on earth. She filed for an annulment 15 days later. She walked down the aisle again 6 months after that. And now she's writing the memoir of the century about all of it. But that's not why she's here. She's here because she finally chose herself. And I'm so honored to be able to have her with me in this space. Okay. And that's the only story worth telling. This is Romi Marie. So I'm just, hey, that was, ooh, that was
I was
everything.
like, what a welcome.
I love it. And you guys, we're so geeked because we're
Yeah.
sisters, we're
Yes.
besties. We love
Yes.
each other so much.
Yes.
And only God could have brought us together like this.
Amen.
Being able to do a podcast where she can share vulnerably, authentically, truthfully,
Mhm.
all the beauty and chaos that is her life. That is what
Mhm.
life is about. And
Mhm.
so welcome, Romy, to the Metabusiness Millennial podcast.
I love you so much. I just want to say a huge thank you. You are my sister. You are my bestie. I mean, for sure, God brought you and I together, but thank you for holding space for me yet again, but just giving me a place to have a voice too in this. Like, I'm so grateful for that right now.
Yes. And I am too, because your story, and we're going to get into all that stuff, but
Yeah.
we just
Yeah.
we got all the time in the world today. I'm so grateful because you could have done this anywhere. Like, you've literally been in People magazine and Touch magazine. You
Mhm.
could be on Jennifer Hudson right now if you wanted to be. Like, you could be wherever you wanted talking about this, and you chose this space, and I know why, because
Mhm.
it's safe.
Yep.
It holds all of you. There
Yep.
is no judgment, and you get to really speak your truth. And this is what I believe your soul has been craving this whole time, is to be
Yes.
able to be heard and seen for the 100% beautiful and witnessed for who you are.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. I think, in the same way, and we'll get into the memoir that I wrote that I'm releasing right now, but I wanted to have creative control and I wanted my voice not to be lost, right? And I've
Mhm.
often been my story's been told for me for so long with very little me being able to jump in. So even having these conversations right now, I need it to be safe. I need it to be with my women. I need it to be where I feel like it is my voice, and it's like it's you and I. So having one
Mhm.
of these open conversations now with all of this out there that I have not spoken on publicly, at all about what you just brought up. I mean, even hearing you say a lot of it, I'm just like, because I haven't said anything, and I went off social media for a year and I stopped being public and I stopped being present. And I really, yeah, if I'm going to talk about it, it's going to be with, you know what I mean? My people.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. So let's just go on into my first question. So,
Be ready.
yeah, I have to say too, like, I've been there, like, in terms of creating context. Like, Romy and I met a couple years
Yes.
ago, in Washington D.C.,
At
actually
the
on
White
the
House.
street at the White House. Met at the White House for this incredible, honoring of Black descendants of his Black historical leaders.
Mhm.
And we've stayed in close contact with. I know her daughter very intimately,
Mhm.
Frankie. That's my niece.
That's true. Yep.
And she knows my son Harlow very intimately. That's TT Romy to
Yep.
him. And I was there at her last wedding in
Mhm.
October, and setting up candles and dressing the part and fully supportive friend.
Mhm.
So there is certainly history and love and here. And I really want to acknowledge what it took to say yes in this chapter,
Mhm.
because We're not, we're gonna just talk about that. And, you could, and who are you right now? You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like I I really just want you to understand like in April 2026, like we talked about the wedding, we talked about, you getting to now and that's that journey to now, but who would you say Romy is in April 2026?
Hmm. So it's interesting because, even releasing the book and going back through all these chapters of my life, it's an interesting thing because it's a lot of inner child healing as we do this kind of work, right? And as we revisit these chapters, and I'm looking at myself in all the years and I'm thinking, man, I don't know her. She's such a different girl. She's changed so much. And then there's the part of me that's like, I know her so well.
Yes.
I know her so well. There's like this balance of love and nurture for her, understanding of her and me. And like, I think today, with where I'm at and with the healing that I'm trying to do and the space that I'm in and what's happened over the last few years and in my entire life, is that I'm her, right? I'm her. I'm all of her in all of those chapters of my life, right? But right now, if I had to create a space for where I am at right now, I'm her falling in love with her.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm falling in love with her finally because I don't think I really knew how to love myself, right? All these years. And I don't think I really knew God's love for me. My faith has been truly restored and stronger than ever the last year. And without God, truly I would not be here. And without knowing that I am loved and that I am worthy and the woman at the well and that Jesus loves me and forgives me and that we are all humans, right? Like without having true understanding of my place spiritually, I don't think I could have figured out how to then love me because I have spent most of my life seeking that validation and that love from somebody outside of me, right? Which you cannot be complete in that, right? And I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I felt no matter how strong or independent, which I am, all those things, and how whatever I was and am, I think I really did think still deep down in there since I was a little girl. And that's so much of my story is that like that person's going to come along and they're going to love me and they're going to complete me and they're going to fulfill me and I'm going to be loved and seen and then I'm good.
Yeah.
Where is my person? If it's not in a man, maybe it's in a woman, right? Like just somebody love me, somebody pay attention to me and see me. But like I didn't see me.
That part.
I didn't pay attention to me. I didn't love me enough, right? And so God took me through something pretty wild these last few years, right? And as much as we can look at it, and that's fine, as failures, right? Failed marriages, failed relationships, that's fine. They are failed, fine. But man, they are lessons and they are stepping stools for me because they have launched me into a space that like without them they served a purpose. You know what I mean? They served a very big purpose that I wish I did not have to go through to get here. I do. I do wish that I did not have to go through that or didn't put myself through that. But I didn't know. I didn't know.
100%. And I just want to say a few things to this. Thank you so much for opening with that because this is really exactly what the metaphysical spiritual journey is. And it's like a good analogy that I came across and it's so beautiful is like as we go through this life, we're playing hide and seek with ourselves. Like if you can imagine
Yes.
as a kid, you're like, ready or not, here I come. And
Yeah.
you're like literally looking for parts of yourself
Yes.
as you go through life.
Yes.
And then you discover, oh wow, like you said, like I'm really attracted to women. I'm creating these beautiful bonds with women. Okay, that was a part of me. But then I'm over here. There's another part of me that's like, oh wow, I really enjoy the partnership and companionship and the polarity that I have with a man.
Mhm.
Okay, wow. Okay, that's interesting. And then there's another part of you that's like, I really enjoy hair. I enjoy being an identity coach. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like there's so many parts of us that we get to explore and learn and find throughout this journey.
There's a part in the early part of my book that's already been released where I said it, and then I was rereading it as I'm rereading these chapters, right? Because I wrote the book a few years ago, but as I'm rereading them with everybody right now, I said, I just desperately wanted to feel every emotion that the human body could feel. And I think since I
Yes.
was a little girl, I have
Mhm.
been one of those people that wants to feel all, if it's there for me to experience, for some
Mhm.
reason I have craved it and wanted to live it. And if there was anything that I craved more in this world, which should have been God, fine, it should have been his love, it should have been his guidance, but it was human connection and any way possible I am just drawn to, like, depth, right? Like, I just have been that way since I was a child, whether that is sexual connection, whether that is an
Mhm.
emotional connection, whether it's a
Mhm.
spiritual connection, whether
Yes.
it's a deep friendship. I love so hard. It's like insane.
And that's a gift. And
It-
also, as the human experience, the woman, the man experience, however you choose to manifest in physical form experience, is a sentient experience. We are sentient beings, meaning we are beings that came here to feel. And
and
what that
that's,
feeling
yeah,
and feel on top of that, feel pleasure,
yeah,
feel pain, feel
yeah,
joy, feel
yeah.
sadness, feel sorrow. We came here to feel and experience all these things, and that's the entire human experience.
Girl, I have.
And I also wanna just point out something for you and for also people who are listening. You mentioned that some of the relationships were failures. Well, in the metaphysical world, we don't call them failures, we call them completion.
Yeah,
So those
yeah.
aspects of our lives are completed. They are not failed. Like, and I literally said this in one of my reels, we don't call it a failure when the flower falls from the tree.
I remember that, you saying that. Yep.
Yeah, like the flower falls to make room for the fruit.
Amen. Amen.
Come on now.
And I feel that. That's where I said the world may look at it and go, "Oh my god, failure, failure, failure." But I would like to shake up the fact that, again, do I wish that I did all these things and put myself or my family or anyone through all of these things? And of course not. Of course I don't wish that upon, and I don't wish upon the pain that came with all of those things. But every time a leaf fell, something beautiful bloomed, right? And every
Mhm,
time
mhm.
something died, something beautiful came alive. And it has been
Right.
this evolving thing in me. And I am not afraid to allow things to die and have a rebirth. And I do think in a world where we are so strict on how things should look, right? I don't fit
Mhm,
into that and I get
mhm.
that. But I also think there's a lot of people that are afraid to let the leaf fall and something new happen, right?
Absolutely. They holding on to that
They're
little
holding
flower, that
on with
little
like
leaf.
little root, little tiny root
It's
just
dried and
hanging.
dead. They
Just,
still holding on.
I'm all, let it go, boo, let it go.
Let
Something's
it
trying to
go.
grow. Something's trying to grow. But they're hanging on because they're terrified. What if something doesn't grow? What's going to
Yeah.
come? What
Mhm.
happens if I lose that? That's a part of me, right? Like, I'm
Yeah.
complete with that. And I'm out here going, me and Jesus just like we're riding through life together with like, you gotta go, you gotta go, we're gonna be okay, I'll live, I'll survive. And I think I've been through it enough times now, unfortunately, that I'm strong enough to be like, this ain't the end of the world. If you gotta go, boo, you gotta go.
Hey, and you know me, I'm quick to ride with you. I'm quick to
Yeah,
roll
like
up and ride with
yeah,
you.
I'm
Okay.
just
So I
like,
want you to take us back because you were the only girl among 5 brothers. Is that right?
yes,
Okay. So you were raised by 2 moms too. You
yes,
guys, I don't know
yes.
if people know these things about you.
Mm-mm, they
And
do
then
not.
in a faith-forward home. So you were a church girl growing up
Yes,
with
yes,
2 moms, 5 brothers who discovered that she was bisexual.
yes.
Okay. So who was Romy before the world knew her name?
That's what my story Breathe Me Hot is all about, right? Is let me take you back to the girl you have seen, you've watched in public eye or seen articles about or watched on TV. Let me show you that girl and how she got there, because you don't know, right? You don't know how someone got to where they are or why they do the things that they do. And that goes for everybody. This isn't about just me. This is a representation to all women. You don't know where that girl came from. And they came from something and something that happened and somewhere along their journey. So like we need to have some grace and stop judging people and ripping people apart, you know, because we all are on some journey, whether yours is secretive or not secretive and mine is more public or not. We're all in this together. And so Romy, little me, I talk about, you know, being 6, being the first real big memory of me. I was raised in Anaheim, California by my grandmother. She was a devout Catholic woman married to Jesus, right? I was raised with holy water in the halls. Jesus was staring at me, like very religious. We went to a Catholic school. I Catholic camp, Catholic church, all of this. And so she helped my mom raise me and my 2 younger brothers who are special needs. And my father had 2 older sons from his first wife. Um, my parents divorced when I was 6. My mom was going to school. She was on welfare. She had my grandma helping while she was taking care of me and my 2 younger brothers. My youngest one severely on life support to live, right? And so she's like 30 years old trying to manage this
Mm,
by herself while my dad, God bless him, did not help her, right?
mhm.
She's going to school during the day, she's working at Blockbuster at night, she's on welfare, and grandma's helping her keep her son alive and raise all of us. Because I wasn't special needs and they were on such a survival place, I was very much overlooked very early on in my childhood because I was okay. So everyone just went, she's okay, right? And I took on the role of big sister, right? Kind of running the home, taking care of the boys, making sure everyone's good, right? With grandma. And my mom was young. We grew up together. You know, 30's young. I grew up with that woman. Like she had me when she was 20, you know, like her and I are on a level of I've watched her grow up. While she's raising me, you know, and dad wasn't around much. And then I think, and I write about this, and I'm fine saying it. My mother is not gay. My mother was not gay. My mother was a woman, and I know you and I can relate to this. And now I can look at her with a lot of empathy and love. She had 3 kids. She had a lot of shit men. She was tired and she wanted her babies to survive. She met a woman who wanted to give her the world, who was a big producer, had a lot of money, and loved her. And my mother took that ticket. She took that ticket. She loved her. They were like, they loved each other, right? But my mother didn't love her in a romantic way. But I get it, right? I get it. I get it. And so I didn't then, but I do now. And so she married a woman. It was like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I went from like my little home in Anaheim on my welfare, stamps, and we were like driving, a Range Rover and a Jag in Pasadena in the same neighborhood that they filmed 90210 and going to Hollywood parties. And overnight, I was like 11. We were a different family. I had 2 moms now, and we were loaded. And my mom was gay. It was just like overnight. Like they packed up the BMW and she took us all in, and we were now, that family. And I wanted a family so bad, Erin, that I didn't care what it looked like,
That part, I get
right?
it.
I didn't care what it looked like. But my stepmother was a woman who identified more masculine, right? Strapped down the breast, dressed masculine, felt masculine. So you have to imagine a lot of the things I took in as a young girl were how I was being shaped in my home.
Right. It was normalized for you.
It was very normalized for me. And the only relationship I ever grew up watching was a masculine woman and my mother, and also a very cat and mouse like relationship because my mother wasn't really sexually in love with her. And I knew that growing up. So I just never saw the dynamic of a healthy man and woman, right? That just wasn't how I was raised. And that plays a big part of, obviously my development and my relationships. And then in terms of faith, my stepmother was from the South, was raised Bible, and she raised us, God bless her, and I'm grateful for it because I went from my grandma being Catholic to us being a religious home. I went to a private school, an Episcopalian private school. We had religion, and we were close to the pastor and the headmaster. We went to church every Sunday. You know, when I was struggling in high school, I went to go see my priest. You know, like faith has God has had his hand on me since I was a little girl.
Mhm.
He's just it's always been there for me. I mean, it's there for everybody, but it was very available in terms of my knowledge of it, right? And I'm so grateful, despite everything I've gone through, that that was a consistent factor in my life because it
I
stayed
love
with me.
that.
Hmm.
I love that. And so, okay, so well, I'm gonna comment and then we're gonna move
Yeah.
forward, but
Yeah.
this is just so beautiful. Like, I'm just kinda, like, just enraptured in the story. And because even though I know so much about you, and it's just telling about how you said about how we've been covered, we've been protected at every point in our lives, even if we feel like it was traumatic as fuck
Wha-
or weird as
eh,
fuck
Yeah.
or, or
Yes.
amazing. It's just like everything highs and lows. It's like, one thing that was consistent for you was that faith tradition, the connection to God, the teaching, even in a home that, especially in the 90s, was deemed like devil worship,
Yeah. 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 I mean,
Yeah,
I
and
was the
so
only
I
home
feel
that had two moms. I was the only girl
yeah,
that had two moms. I was that kid.
yeah. That and so okay, so let's get to the real L word because I think that's also a piece, particularly where you have a lot of your followers, a lot of people who adore you are from this era of your life. And I want to be able to to speak to those people too, because I want you to walk us through what it was like to become a public figure in your 20s.
Yeah.
And I don't people think people realize that like you are a baby, first of all.
Yes.
And as an openly queer Latina,
Uh-huh.
which are, so many labels there. And then before the culture was really ready for you, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. 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 You know, the part about being a Latina and me writing about it and calling it Breathe Mija was because I do have a lot of identity stuff around being Mexican. I grew up with a lot of weird identity being in a white rich world, right? Being the brown girl in my mom's family, living in this whitewashed rich area and knowing that I look different, like
A little
I look
exotic because you're still half
right.
American, like, so
Yeah.
it's just like
Like I had a different look and I knew like if my dad showed up, they knew if you saw my dad, like you're like, that dude's gonna kill you. He's a Mexican, like mafia looking man. So like everyone had their lawyer, white, rich dads. And I'm like, dude, my dad is gonna kill you or sleep with your wife. So you guys all need to like back the fuck up because he's not fucking around. Like that is my dad. So I just always knew, that I was just kind of playing the part. Like, okay, we're gonna do this. I'm white girl, right? What I did not feel like I belonged. I didn't feel like the money was mine, which is why I've had such an issue with my relationship with money my whole life. It didn't feel like it
Mhm,
was mine. I didn't feel like I belonged. And through that journey, and then a lot of just really unhealthy sexual relationships and relationships with men at a young age. I was very promiscuous. I talk about that, very promiscuous at a very young age. And then come my 20s, dad dies, right? And that was the chapter I just released yesterday. My father ends up passing away. That is chapter 5 of the book. It is a heavy chapter. Um, my father passes away, and I wrote in the book that when I came to visit my dad, I'll like skip to this quickly. When I came to visit my dad, the last time I saw my father, he was very sick and on drugs and he was dying. And he was yelling at me, calling me a whore. And my mom removed me and I drove back home to San Jose where I was living. And a month or two later, I get a phone call that he's dying. Come home, fly on a plane. You have 2 hours to get here. So my last interaction with my father before I flew home to say my final goodbye to him was him screaming at me, calling me a whore. I was devastated during this period of my life. Everything felt like it was just crashing down on me. Mind you, my relationship with, you know, James was just he had abandoned me for the first time during this time. So a lot was happening in my life. Um, I moved to San Francisco and I started writing about that in the chapter right now. And this will start to be what's next. Actually, the next chapter in my book that's being released is about my lesbian days, right? And I cut my hair off and I decided that's it. I'm gay. That's my identity. I'm be gay. I'm done with men. I'm done. These women are giving me a lot of attention. They're paying attention to me. I'm new in the city. They're making me feel loved. They're making me feel special. They're safe. I don't have that much in it that I can actually get that hurt. You know, I'm in control. No one's going to hurt me again. No one's going to abandon me again. No one's going to die on me and no one's going to make me love them so hard that they destroy me. So that Filled with Women played that for me.
Mm.
And I played it,
Right.
and I don't mean played it like a role. I mean, like I played in that part of me for a very long time because I was so hurt. I was so hurt. And this is where I had found safety. And I knew it because I grew up in it. It's all I knew. So this was very familiar to me. And I had been with women off and on since I was younger in a very casual way. And so now it was, okay, this is just going to be me. This is who I am. No more men. Don't come near me. Don't look at me. Don't touch me. No, I don't want anything to do with you,
Mm.
and I started partying. My dad was dead. Jamie had left. I started partying, drinking. It was a very big scene in San Francisco at this time in 2007. I'm in my early 20s and fell in love with a girl while I was there. And this is all in the book, more detail of it. But long story short, I flew home to finally be with her, back to Los Angeles after a few years away in San Francisco. I finally went back home because I had left right when my dad was dying. And when I went back to LA, short hair, lesbian, I hit up that lesbian scene real hard. You know, I was like, okay, this is who I am. I started throwing lesbian parties with my best friends. We were throwing the biggest parties. We had the biggest girl nights. We were PYT, and everyone in the scene at that time knew us and knew our parties. And I was the cigarette girl and I was the girl. I was dancing on tables. I was getting drunk. I was throwing the parties. I was just living this LA lesbian it girl life. And one of the main characters was starting to film the L Word and told me she was filming it. I didn't care. I just was really attracted to her and wanted to sleep with her. And Hollywood wasn't, and I wasn't something sparkly to me. Right. I've known it my whole life. It wasn't like, oh, you're on a show. I didn't care about that. I wanted to sleep with that person. And that's what I wanted. And the camera came with her. And when the camera came with her, it found me. I didn't audition. I didn't say, pick me. I didn't stand in line to get on this thing. It found me. And
Mm.
once it found me, it found me. It found me. It found me
Ooh.
and it became my entire public identity. And I ended up being on predominantly a good amount of the first season without being a cast member, but I was on almost every episode. And then they brought me back to the second season as a main character. And then they brought me back to the last final season, the third season, as a main character.
Mhm. Okay. Well, I think a lot of people will appreciate this, because and of course, that you can read more about it on, Romi's Substack, which we'll clip. And, I it's beautiful because you talk about the pain that really inspired the journey. And, a lot of times people don't understand that we look for love in places where we're running from pain. And
Yes.
and so, people think that, yeah, looking at you, this is your identity, but in reality, she's actually running so fast from something that nearly is, it's killing her. It's so painful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
Thank you for saying running, because in the book, that's actually what I said. I said, here I go again. I'm about to run. I have ran my whole life, Erin. When
mhm,
I look back and I'm running from myself. I'm running from
mhm,
cities. I'm running from people. I'm running from
mhm,
experiences, and I'm trying to outrun the pain.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it got me.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
caught up. It got me. You cannot run from all of that. No matter how hard you try, it will find
Mhm.
you.
'Cause it's right, we're playing hide and seek from ourselves. You can run and
100%.
hide, but
Hide, honey. It'll
you
find
can't
you.
run from yourself.
No. And when it finds you, for anyone listening, like stop fucking running and face it now because it will find you. And when it finds you, when it's years of running, it finds you because I was running from pain. I was running from my childhood. I was running from my abandonment. I was running from a man ever hurting me again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also just wanna, send light to your father, because, I think a lot of us have, daddy wounds in many different forms, or
Mhm.
father wounds. I call him daddy.
Yeah.
Father
Yeah.
wounds, and, the men in our lives are doing their best. And I know your father loves you so much, and he
Mhm.
didn't even know how to say it.
Mhm.
The words came out all the way wrong for him.
I know.
And it was his anger at himself for not being able to be there for you that made him say
100%.
those things. Yeah.
And I know that now, Aaron, that him
Mhm.
looking at me when he was dying and I wrote that, he lost control and he was a man of control, right? He lost
Mhm.
control knowing he was dying. When he saw me that final time, he knew he was losing me and he couldn't do anything in his masculine strength to
To
stop it from
protect you, to
happening, to
control
protect
you.
me. No, and he completely, like a little boy, reacted to his pain. And
Yes.
I can see that now and I can understand that now. And
Mhm.
I'm going to be honest, I love him and I forgive him and I understand him. But what ended up happening because of that type of love that I had for him
Mhm.
was that every man after that, that also was incapable of communicating or understanding themselves, I made complete excuses for, and I held space to love them and make sure they felt seen and loved because I spent my entire life doing that with my father.
Yeah. You're holding the emotional weight. You're holding the
100
emotional space because 'cause you're
yes.
giving them the bridge and the benefit of the doubt
Yes.
when they need to be meeting you.
When in
And so
reality, had he been a man that knew how to communicate with me about his fears and sadness and not projected it onto me in some horse shaming, I
yeah.
would have had a better understanding of how a man should talk to me when they're struggling. Instead, I went, oh my God, you're broken. You're in pain. You want to abuse me, but I'm going to make it safe for you because I've been conditioned to do that by my father.
Mhm.
Men, fathers, how
Mhm.
you show your children, your daughters is huge on what they go out there and accept.
Period. That's
Period.
it.
And
And and
that is
I
what
wanna
caused,
talk
yeah.
about this because this is a great, bridge to, okay, this was Romy when in her 20s and then almost
Mhm,
20 years ago.
mhm.
What happened for you to be, plant-based eating, sober, mommy dearest? Because I know you and your mommy.
I'm not plant-based eating. I'm all meat.
I mean,
Oh
I
yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
you're, like, healthy
Yes,
eating, like,
yes, yes,
sober, like,
yes.
you're really, you've gone from this, this version of you on the cameras, obviously, this reality
Mhm.
TV version that everyone knows and loves and still knows and loves and honors, and, talk about the journey to today and helping, in not in a way of explaining yourself, because this is not
Yeah.
about necessarily explaining, your transformation necessarily, but, what's the bridge between that Romy and today's Romy?
Motherhood. I know you know, girl, motherhood. There is one thing and one thing only
Yes.
that could have pulled me out of myself. And it's God. Okay? It's God who pulls me out of myself and reminds me, it's my faith that I've been so when I got pregnant with Frankie, my daughter, and when I became a mother, God showed me a miracle. He showed me how incredible I am in a way that I did not know I was, right? I'm like, I'm birthing, creating like this babe, and now I'm keeping this baby alive. Like I am I'm incredible. Like, I didn't have an understanding of my body, right? I'm thinking it's just this sexual thing that's here for people to enjoy or whatever. But like, no, my body is like miraculous and
Yes.
making baby, this beautiful baby girl. And the minute she was born, Erin, I went and had her baptized. I had God back in my heart and soul. I was baptized in my early 20s. It's in the book, my first marriage, my first husband, it was through the church. And then that was a long story. And so, anyways, fast forward to being a mom, I really restored my faith. I have never walked away from my faith, in terms of really walking with God since I became a mother, because it just changed me. And holy cow, Erin, I never knew a love. Like whatever I had been seeking for love, it was like handed to me, in a way that I just did not know I was capable of loving someone so much, so hard, that I would be willing to sacrifice everything for me and not be about me for her, that I would give up all of it in a heartbeat, in a blink of an eye for that child. And I do today, and I will for the rest of my life. And she is why I don't give up. She is why I don't just run my car into a wall some days, right? I'm sorry, but like a lot of us moms know, there are those days that you're like, Lord, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And then I look at my child and I'm like, and you gave
Gotta
me
keep
her to
going.
remind me that I got to keep going. You better get up. You better do your workout. You better get that food in you. You better lift that weight, girl, because you don't get to go. Sorry. You don't get to take the easy, like, out. She needs you.
Right.
Show up. You're done feeling bad for yourself. And
Right.
so my daughter changed my life. She changes my life today. And I will be completely honest. The relationships that I recently got out of are because of my daughter.
Mhm.
She comes first. She's priority. And when it affects how I am as a mother, or affects how my nervous system is for my daughter, you will go so fucking quick. Don't get it twisted. I will love you hard. I will love you well. I will love you so well that you will want to marry me, which is why most people do. Okay. I will leave if it affects how I show up for my kid. End of story.
Mhm.
End of story. She is priority. She is my whole world. She is my everything. My everything. And I'm so lucky because she's why I will not drink. I do not drink. I am sober. I live a sober life. I don't do drugs, right? I don't party. I haven't. I've never been like this, with her. It's been years. And that is because she will not see that woman. She will see a sober, clear-minded woman, period, end of story. She will see me get up and work out every day. She will see me work my ass off for us, right? And if she's going to see a man in my life, she better see a man that treats me the way I want her to go out into the world and have a man treat her.
That part.
End of story. She's watching me. And I know this because I was that little girl and I watched my mom, and God bless my mom and her imperfections. I became an incredible woman, even despite her fails, right? And her falls and her struggles. But our little kids are watching and they're observing. And I know more than anyone the impact it will have in every part of our life. That I
And
overly, even though I fail, and we all do, and I mess up and I apologize and I own it, she's watching me. And if I can show her anything, it is that we have God. Her and I are praying every night. We have God. I have helped create a beautiful faith for my daughter, right? She knows I don't drink. She knows I eat very healthy, and that is because I need to be around for a long time for
mhm.
my little girl. And
Mhm.
so my health, mentally, physically, and spiritually, is so that I can be that for her. And when life throws us heavy, hard things, and it is, Erin, so that I am equipped to be there for
Mhm.
her,
Period.
period.
I love that. And it's just like the motherhood, and I think a lot of women, wherever you are, whether you're, lesbian, queer, or, on the other side, then it's like the motherhood transforms, the fatherhood transforms, because we are realizing that we're living for something greater. It really helps to create that purposeful life, that purposeful
Yes.
living.
Yes.
And I think that's what a lot of times we're searching for, when we're wanting that love from the outside, when we're wanting
Yeah.
that love from someone else. It's like we
Yeah.
just want to have purpose. Like we want to feel like we deserve to be here for some reason. Like there needs to be a reason for all of this.
She's my
And
why. She's
she's
my
your
why.
why. I love that. And I want to start talking about, getting into the menses.
Mhm.
And, we have this 20 plus year friendship that you've had with James, and I actually got a chance to meet him. That's how I know
How we
Romy.
met. Yeah.
Is that I met him through an organization that I was working with based out in LA, and was working with him on child trafficking
Mhm.
issues, and got to know him intimately and personally, and then got a chance to meet Romy through him. And so, this is not a bashing scene. This is not
No.
talking bad about
No.
nobody, because
No.
I
Thank
personally
you.
know this gentleman as well.
Nope.
And you've had this friendship with James and essentially the Jolie Voight family for a long time. And I want you to really talk about what this relationship has taught you, um, about not just the friendship, the relationship, about love, about fame, and the difference between being chosen, and also being collected, like feeling like you're just like like a trophy. And I feel like, 20 years is a long time. And I felt that energy off of you guys. Like it was like you guys were two peas in a pod. It was.
Yeah.
And we actually,
Yes.
I have to just tell, and I guess it's my show, so I can talk.
Yeah.
We were so happy for James when we met you, because it seemed like even he was happier. Even he felt, you could see his light beaming brighter with you. Like I remember we were taking selfies together. We were all so
Make me
happy to be
cry,
together.
Erin.
And I got chills. I'm literally getting goosebumps as I'm talking, because this is just, I never even thought about these things till now.
Yeah.
But I just had to say that, because maybe he'll hear this one day. Hopefully he does. But I feel like the people are brought in our lives, of course, for reasons and seasons, and you guys were together for a long season, and we can't ever control other people's decisions or their lifestyles and what they choose. And we know
No.
that's his path, and he's doing his best. But while he was there, obviously you learned a lot from each other. And I just would love for you just to speak to that a little bit, and then we can kind of go into the other pieces.
Um, it's just like, thank you for saying that, because it is just a true, like, his mother, his mother would call us Peter Pan and Tink, right?
You were
And she's,
Tinkerbell,
yeah,
yeah.
she would just say we were like these little lost kids in Neverland that just played and were childlike. And as I was doing a lot of this work, I thought about him and I, and we met when I was 20 and he was 30. I'm 44 now. It's been a very half my life with this man, right? Half my life of a lot of love and friendship and family. And we were just like it we were the most connected two human beings for most of my life. We just had this very magical childlike love and acceptance of one another. It didn't really matter our sexual orientation at any point in our relationship, at any season of our relationship. It wasn't about really who loved who or what. It was we loved each other. And whatever that love was, it was bigger than any kind of label or identity. And it was my first love. It was my first big love. Um, and he, abandoned me very brutally multiple times throughout those years. And there was a lot of forgiveness and healing. And I'll say this, looking back now, we both had so much healing we needed to do, and he needs to do, and I need to do. And we wanted to be loved and seen, both of us. And we wanted to be children because we grew up so fast. And we were used to taking care of our family and taking care of ourselves and being the oldest. And we lost being innocent kids. And we found that in one another. And that's what it felt like. It felt like we were just these, like, and we just loved each other so much. And when we got married, and it's out there for everyone to view, right? It made papers. It was private. We didn't share it. It was completely private. It was his father, me, my mom, my brother, and him in Laguna, which was our spot, our place growing up. When we were 20, we walked down that beach and talked about our kid. we were going to have one day and the life we were going to make. I was 20 years old and we did that in Laguna Beach. And then, fast forward 20 years later, we're getting married on that beach privately. And I'm thinking, I'm just bawling in the video, like, because I'm thinking, it's full circle. This is it. This is my best friend. This is my person, whether it's a romantic level like that. I didn't need that. And whether he was this or I was that, it didn't matter. It just meant like we're committed to like, just being there for one another. And that night of the wedding, it was very clear to me that there were different motives behind his reason for marrying me. And I looked him in the eye in his living room in our house and I said, "You've been lying to me." And then he said, "Yeah." And I flew home and I asked for an annulment. And it felt like I'm still not obviously healed through this, right? So I'm back in therapy, with a Christian male therapist. And he recently told me as we were going through my book over the last year, he said, "I don't think you've really dealt with this." And I said, "Of course I haven't." Which is, of course I haven't. No, I haven't. And I don't want to. And he was like, "Honey, this is where we need to, this is it. This is where we need to work." And I said, "Okay." And so it was like 2 weeks ago, we brought him up and we went there, and I don't have it in my heart, Erin, to ever hate anyone. I don't have it in my heart. Like there are times I'll scream like I hate him, I hate him, I hate him, We say that stuff, right? Like I hate him, because we hate the pain.
Yeah. And it's part of the grieving process,
It is.
yeah, you gotta go through the anger, the
Yeah, it's
frustration, the
yeah.
hate, all of it.
Yeah. He he disappears on me and he has since I was a little girl and he did again. He disappeared. He disappeared on me. He it'll he went away. He just went away. And this time, it was the last time.
Yeah, it was complete. The
It was
cycle was
complete.
complete.
It was complete. The cycle was
Mhm,
complete. I just
mhm,
yeah. I don't ever want to take away, so thank you, and I'll just say that. I don't ever want to take away for what was there that was magical because somewhere in that was real.
mhm. Absolutely real.
Yeah.
It's just a version of you that you've outgrown.
100%.
Yeah, so that version of you is, she still honors that little girl, but she's a grown ass woman.
She's a grown ass woman
Yeah,
and at some
integrated
point
adult. Yeah.
enough is enough,
Mhm,
enough is
mhm.
enough.
I
And
agree.
there are only so many times until it's like, "That's on you now, boo. Stop forgiving. Stop opening that door. When are you
Yeah.
gonna shut it?" Right? It's on you. It's not on anyone else.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. It's your fucking fault, Romy. You know?
Yeah, you gotta take the accountability.
100%.
And
And
and I feel that for you, and I really am just so honored to be able to witness you in this journey of going through really hard things because that level of love and commitment and history, and then on top of that layer the fame and the shared experiences and the desire to want to be held and seen on larger stages together, like you had all these amazing
we had
dreams
all
for the
these plans. We had all,
yeah.
them. You were there. We had all this stuff we were working on and all these beautiful things we would have done and could have done together. And for whatever that reason may be, and it just wasn't supposed to happen, right? It just wasn't supposed to
Yeah,
happen that
not
way.
in that way, and that's why I'm so appreciating being part of this journey with you is because you do not abandon those dreams. They
Mm-mm,
just take higher forms because
mm-mm,
you are doing the work. So
mm-mm.
now you're gonna be able to have those dreams, but in the healed version of you, the fully healed, completed, embodied version of you.
I think the biggest thing that I'm learning right now, honestly, is that I don't need anyone to do those dreams with. I
That
don't
part.
need anyone to hold my hand and make me feel safe while I do those dreams. I don't need
Yes.
anyone. I have Jesus, I have God, and He is the closest thing to peace and okayness I have ever felt in my entire life. So, as I'm putting myself out here right now to go after those dreams and not give up on them for anyone, I'm asking God to just stay with me and hold me tight, right? And that I
Right.
am me, Romi Marie, Madre Romi, by myself, all alone, doing this. I don't need a man. And if one shows up miraculously at my door because Jesus walked him to the front door to be that for me, you know, I don't need that to do the dreams that I have had and show my daughter that I can do them.
That part.
And I think I thought I needed
Yeah,
that.
100%.
And I think it's beautiful to have that. Let me just put that out there. I think women and men and relationships, whoever, men, women, whatever, I don't care your preference. I just think partnership and community is biblical. I think it is a part of who we are. So I'm
Mhm.
not saying I'm an independent woman, I don't need a man, which I am an independent woman and I don't need a man, but I am an independent woman who desires a strong man
Mhm.
and will always be open to one. What I am not is going to be so broken that I allow more broken men in,
That part.
you know?
Yes. So when you're reaching for your dreams or when you're walking towards your dreams in this embodied, fully healed version of yourself, then you're able to attract someone who can meet you there. And not someone who has to, or and can continue to build with you. And I believe that's the beauty in this journey is that you want someone who can walk in purpose with you. And when you're still figuring out who you are and finding who you are, it's really hard to align with someone who can do that. So I
Erin,
really,
I don't even know, I've putting my story out there the way that I have and sharing what I have shared about myself. I'll be honest, I know most women would never share these things, not in a relationship, not with a friend, and not even say them out loud, maybe even to a therapist, right? Like, I get how we like to put ourselves together in the world, right?
yeah,
I lay it out there. And so, and I knew doing that, any man who's about to even understand the depth of what I put out there, that is a strong, secure human being that is going to be able to read this, take this, and go, I want to love that.
yeah.
And
It's really that simple.
it's
I mean,
really
if
that
I can
simple.
do it, he can do it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, it's
Right.
just like so you really have to trust that, like, I mean, I can sit here and witness you and hold space for you, and it's just like, "Girl, okay, like, what we doing next?" So it's just like, it's so past tense. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's like
But
so past tense.
there's such a shame around women, one sexually and marriages and failed. It's like my friend called me the poor Elizabeth Taylor, I was like,
Ah!
it's like,
Where are
listen,
the diamonds? I need
where are my diamonds? I'm gonna go through all
This
these
would be so
marriages.
much better with
Right. I'm gonna go
diamonds,
through all
okay?
these marriages. Can I at least have a few diamonds to show? Please, someone. No. Instead, I got therapy bills. I'm pissed. But I'm like sitting here, like, I'm here and I'm not going to close my heart off to miracles. And the man that comes for me would be a full blown, like, if you don't believe in Jesus, you will after. If I tell you that a man came in and loved me completely for who I am, showed up
Yeah,
for me, held space for me and
yeah.
my daughter. When that happens, I will share my testimony because may it give every woman hope because
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
good
and
luck.
we all have our story to tell.
Everyone, everyone
Please don't
has.
sit here and think that
Mm-mm.
mm-mm.
Every
And
girl
and
is
so,
writing me right now, Erin, on social media and through my Substack book, and they're saying, I connect with this. I relate to this. I went through this. And I'm sitting here talking to God going, this story is not some story that I'm putting out there that's going, oh my God, look what happened to me. This story is every woman out there, every little girl out there. And there is a chapter or a part that I am seeing. And I know why God put it on my heart to put it out there because they're going, I'm not alone. That
yes,
secret I lived with, that secret I felt, she's saying it for me.
that part. 'Cause and this is how collective consciousness works and collective healing works, is that this is your journey, and you're going through it, and the way that you alchemize it and heal from it essentially heals it for the world. Just like
Amen.
how you speak a lot about Jesus and,
Yes.
I refer to him as Yeshua ben Joseph,
Mhm.
that Jesus went and died on a cross so that nobody really else has to go and, like, die on a fucking
Carry that.
cross,
We
a
don't have to carry
crucifixion,
that.
like, that was his path, so but that path for him created this incredible healing journey for what has been 2 millennia? Where people are still healing from this man's journey and
Yeah.
choices. So imagine this is the same for us in our walk. And I'm speaking, yes, and comparing our walk to a Jesus walk because that's what the Christ consciousness path is that we speak to and that we're on. And we are walking our unique paths in Christ consciousness so that we can create collective healing for the world. People
I
won't have
believe
to go through what Romy has to go through. People won't have to
no.
go through what Erin Patten goes
And
through.
I hope they don't, right? I hope they
Yeah.
don't. I hope we can speak enough on it to go. And that is, I'll tell you, Aaron, the purpose of the end of this book was it is faith based. And trust me, it is faith based. I don't get it twisted. Yes, there is sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? But it is driven by my faith. And it is only in Christ I am
Hmm.
saved. And so
Hmm.
all those readers who are reading it, who are going down this wild journey, are going to see,
Hmm.
right? What I'm talking about in my faith through this journey. And I
Mhm,
know if there is any message that God has put on my heart to share with any woman or any girl or any man reading this about the woman he loves or his daughter, right? And they should read it. Men should read this, okay?
mhm,
Is that we are not one walking shameful pieces of crap that need to hide who we are. Jesus died for us, honey. He died. It's done. It's been done. It's been done. We are forgiven. We are the woman at the well in the Bible. We are the woman there that washed when he was risen. Like, we are a part of that story, right? All
mhm,
of us. Okay. And no one is better or bigger or better than anybody else with their story. Okay.
mhm,
But this seeking of the world that we are so hungry for, whether it's in social media or it's in the TV or if it's in sex or love or addiction or all the things that we are struggling as, you will not find what you are looking for if you do not find it in your faith, right? If you do not find it for me in Christ, right? And for anyone out there, it is a spiritual level that you're going to need to tap into and that you're going to need to find that self love with. And that comes for me from Jesus. Um, And if there is any message that anyone is left with at the end of this, is that she looked everywhere, legitimately everywhere that the world had, and she was left with nothing until she found her love in Christ.
mhm,
Like, keep looking, guys, keep seeking it. And that journey will teach you a lot and it will grow and it'll be beautiful and it's part of living and it's a part of life. I don't want to say it's not, because it's beautiful, right?
mhm.
And all of the exploring that God gives us in this world is beautiful to be lived,
That part.
right? But without the pain, without the hard, you're not going to seek something higher than yourself. So he put me through hard, right? I put me through hard. And I'll
Yeah.
be honest with you, even just recently, and I'll share this, I'm so close to God when it's so hard because it's been so hard that I'm almost scared to have a good day. I'm almost scared to enjoy my life again because I don't want it to pull me away from him.
And I'm so glad you're sharing this because this is where a lot of women sit is that we get so comfortable in the fear-based thinking, in the anxiety that
Mhm.
when it's time to enjoy and relax and really play fun and love that which God calls us to do, it
Yes,
feels wrong.
it feels wrong.
And
I,
so this is actually what my goals are day to day. Like it used to be like, make a lot of money or my business goals
yeah,
are my
yeah.
business goals are that. But now the goal is like heaven on earth. And then what is
Amen.
heaven on
Amen.
earth? Play, fun, and love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be like a child. God says, be like a child. When we look at our children, they have no care in the world. Actually, they can care if they eat crackers for dinner. They don't care. Um, or if they have to take a bath, they don't care. If they sleep outside in a tent, even better. So it's just like
You
we
know what?
really like ruminate and fear the worst when in reality there should be more and more surrender, more and more trust in what God has for us. and trust that we can enjoy that journey. We can have fun in that journey and love in that journey, the unfolding of it.
I've been playing my music, and it's just Frankie and I, and it's been just I for her and I for a little while, for well, predominantly the last like few years, honestly. Um, but it's really just her and I right now. It's really beautiful, and I'm a very goofy, silly person. I always have been. I'm extremely goofy, and in the pain that I've been through over the last few years, and especially the last year, I kind of lost her, and recently, we've just been in the house, Erin, and I've just been so stupid and silly with her and goofy and like cracking her up. And we're like blasting music, and it's like, it's just her and I, and we're having a fresh start. We're moving next week into a new place together, and it's a fresh start for her and I. But like, I'm like, I need her to know that I'm having fun, that I'm laughing with her, that we're laughing, that mama's not stressed out and struggling and surviving every day. So at some point, I had to look myself in the mirror just recently, like this week, and go, she's watching, live, have fun,
Yes.
laugh,
Yes. 'Cause
let
you
her,
are
it's,
here.
yeah, I'm
And also
here.
remembering, and this is just on my heart to say, like, the daily bread. Like,
Yes.
I have enough for today.
Amen. Every day I wake up, Erin, I'm not even kidding. Every day, and her and my prayer every single night. Thank you, Lord, for making like waking us up. Thank you for putting us to bed healthy. Thank you for the roof over our head and the food we eat. And I mean, I keep it so simple on a daily basis just to get by the day to days right now. I am on the
Yeah,
like
I already know.
we're in this moment today, and today I'm alive and we're good. We got a roof. Like it's at that level, right? And it's funny because she said to me the night we were saying a prayer, and she goes, mommy, are you struggling? Is it hard because you prayed for like the success of this or this and that? And I said, baby, do you think we're struggling? And she was like, no. I go, we have more than enough.
Agreed.
We have more than girl. We're laying here in a bed together, holding one another with a roof over our head. And we just ate a good dinner. We have Jesus. What are you talking about? We are abundantly living. I'm just asking God for more because He asked me to ask Him for more because He can give me more.
Yes.
So don't stop asking Him for more, and don't stop asking Him for miracles. I'm gonna raise you when you pray, like walk on water kind of prayers, like I want my little girl going into the world knowing my mama taught me that when I tell Jesus I want this, that can actually happen. Not some fear based, like I just gonna pray for just enough or what seems realistic. None of that. None of that.
Yes. And so now I wanna move into, like, some lightning round questions because we didn't kinda got way off.
Yes.
But I wanna say is, since we already talking about Frankie, I thought this
Yeah.
was a really cute question. What's the best advice that Frankie has ever given you?
Woof. That girl's so smart. She is so good. She is so, so smart. I know she said something this week that said something to me. Gosh. It's funny because my book is called Breathe Mija. It's about taking a big deep breath. It's going to be okay, daughter, right? It's about God telling me, breathe. It's about my
Yeah,
mom telling me, baby, take a breath, right? And I took all this breath work class, and I'm big on breath work. I am big on it. And so when Frankie was little, I started to teach her how to do breath work. When she has anxiety, we do breath work together. And so this week I was doing something or whatever it may. And she just looked at me and she goes, Mama, you need to do some breath work. You need to breathe. And I was like,
you
you're right.
right.
You right. You're right. I go, you ain't wrong. So I thought she just checked me. Like she was like, what are you doing? Take some breaths. Calm down.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah. And then the other thing she said to me, oh my God, with this last breakup, she looked at me and said, you got a bad picker. You got a bad picker, mom. And I said, boo, you're right. I do have a bad picker. And we had a big conversation. I said, listen, mama has not done well in picking the right men for us. But let me teach you this. If there is anything you learn from this, if I can take any lemon and make it lemonade, right? It is that we do not settle for anything less than we deserve. And
That
I will
part.
not. And I will not show you that I do that. If
Yes,
somebody does not see that we are a full on package and they scored getting you and I, then they can keep going.
I love that.
And she said, the next person, if there is a next person, y'all, because who even knows? She
Yes,
said they
there's a
better.
next person.
Okay,
Mm.
that next person, she said, Mama, they can't drink, smoke, and they got to go to church with us on Sunday. And I said, honey, you're calling the shots. You're calling the shots. I'll let you meet him, you interview him, and you tell me if he's a man of God for us or not. And if not,
Next.
Next. Next.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the book on your nightstand and not the one that you're writing?
Right now, I'm reading Free Me From Me, and it is from Ryan. He is a pastor at my church at Red Rock, and it's Free Me From Me. And the irony of it is that I'm reading about freeing myself from all the focus of me in a world that is me as I'm writing and releasing a book that is about me. So it's this beautiful thing of I'm like releasing chapters every week of my book that is about me, right? And I'm reading this book from my pastor about freeing myself from me, right? And instead of having a me centered life, I am having a God centered life. And it is a beautiful balance. And I think perfectly aligned with the time of me releasing this book so that I don't lose myself every week right now as I release my book, being completely consumed in me,
Yeah.
right? God, I think, gave me this book right now to say, as you do this and you're so wrapped up in sharing you, remember that I am the center.
Mhm.
Is
And
not
the
you, honey.
expression through you.
Through you.
Yes. So what's a ritual, and I feel like I already know the answer because you just said it, but what's a ritual that's saving you right now?
Breath work, prayer, and fitness. You know this, girl. The games.
Yeah. Breath work, prayer, and fitness. I love
That's
that.
it.
And
Yes.
and then okay, so this is perfect because you're talking about you and Frankie dancing. So what's the song you play when you need to remember who you are?
Whew, right now it is Left It in the River. So I can't remember who sings it, but we've been blasting it right now. We've been blasting it.
How does it go?
It's like, left it in the river. She's like, I left my shame in the river. And she's like
Okay.
screaming and yelling. It's this like worship song. And it's about
Okay,
like, I
okay.
left it in the river. Like I left it when Jesus baptized me. I left that shame. I left that. And we blast it. We,
Okay.
we
I
blast
love that.
it. And then we blast Ann Wilson's Jesus. And Frankie sings we're just blasting this stuff. We're just singing our Jesus right now.
I love it.
Because
Praise
it reminds
songs all
me.
day, every
Yeah,
day.
it reminds me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, what's one thing you would tell every woman before she says yes to a proposal? I thought these would be good.
I said yes many times. What should I thought of before I said yes to all them marriages? Um, I would be completely honest that like you gotta get to know them. You gotta get to know them. That immediate dopamine fix of love that feels so good. You do not know someone until you have been through hard things with someone and you see how they show up for you in the hardest parts. Please do not say yes until you have struggled. And that is where you are shown your partner. If it is glitz, glam, and easy, and you're running into it and you haven't had hard conversations about finances, sex, history, shame, faith, parenthood, you got no business saying yes. It will show up, it will haunt you, and it will completely destroy you. And I led with love. I led with heart. I led with attraction. And I thought all that stuff will find its way because we love each other so much. It'll all work out, right? We'll figure out a way to make all that work. And what happened was the attraction kind of is, dies down. The love's kind of not as fun. And then you're looking at each other going, oh, we don't really agree on shit. How'd we get here? Oh, we didn't talk about any of that. That is my advice.
That's some good ass advice.
Take it from a professional marrier, okay?
She a pro, okay?
She a pro. Oh,
She a
pro.
pro. I ain't never been married. So, one thing you would tell every woman before she walks away from a marriage?
Oof. Stop caring about what everybody thinks about you. Stop hanging on for the wrong reasons and stop thinking about what your mother, your father, your best friend, your church, your kid. Stop caring about what everybody thinks about you. If you know that you need to leave for the right reasons, and I am not here promoting divorce because I wish it never had to be something that happened, but unfortunately, we live in a society where we are there and abuse is there, and we don't deserve that life. Okay. if it is best for you to leave, for you, you are a better mom, a better friend, a better human being, a better daughter, all of the things, a better employee when you do that. Stop justifying it for everyone. It does not matter what anyone thinks.
Mhm. That's so good. That is so good. Okay, finish this sentence. Love for me right now is
Love for me right now is my daughter and Jesus.
that about sums it up.
That about sums it up, girl. That's what's happening over here.
Yeah. Frankie and God.
That's it. That's it.
I love that.
Yeah. That's where I
Oh,
take my big
guys,
deep
I'm just
breath.
got goosebumps this whole conversation. Um, I am again so honored.
I
I'm
love you.
so appreciating you, Romi Marie, for being here on the Metabusiness Millennial podcast.
Thank you.
I I just continue to be in awe of your tenacity, of your courage, of your resilience, of your dedication, of your devotion to friendship. You guys, she goes through all she goes through and she still texts me and sends me Bible verses and checks on me and asks me about my son while she's going through hell. Okay. This woman is not playing when she says she loves big and
Mm-mm,
she loves hard.
mm-mm.
And I want nothing but the world for her.
Thank
And
you.
this is why I wanted to give her this space
Thank
to
you.
share her truth because she has been hiding from so many for so many reasons. And like we talked about the game earlier, the hide and seek game, now
Yeah.
she's finding herself and it's like, I don't have anywhere else to hide. I'm all
Mm-mm.
here.
Erin, I love you so much. I really do. It means the world to me for you to have me on here, and it means the world for me, for my girls, my friends, right, that see me and love me and have been here through with me. I will always check on you. Life gets busy, and we all are going through really heavy things, right? And we're busy, and we're trying to survive some days, and it catches me sometimes where I just want to text you and be like, "Hey, I love you. Like, are you good? Let me update you. Like, what, you
Mhm,
good, right?" And I get to watch you and your son on your journey, and I keep you in my prayers. And there's no expectation from one of us, like with each other. And you've always been really good about being like, "I know you're going through it. You're there. I love you. We'll see each other when we see each other."
mhm.
And that's the best kind of friendship that we all kind of need sometimes at this age, at this stage in our lives.
Yeah, because we just really are dealing with so much. It's
So
like I
much.
can
It's
barely show up for myself.
Girl,
Like,
same. Same. And so you get it, right? And so it's just
mhm,
those simple things of going, I love you. And when I love, it is true. Like with my friends, I love my friends hard. You
mhm,
know, I love my friends real hard. I love my daughter real hard. I
mhm,
like once I just, yeah, I don't ever want that to be broken.
mhm.
I don't want to ever get that. And you said it and you nailed it. I can't hide anymore, and I'm not. I got nothing to hide now. I got nothing to hide. I'm not hiding any. I
Nothing
don't
to
want to
hide.
hide. I have nothing to hide.
So when you get to that place, those who are listening, if you made it this far,
I know.
you know,
They
if
checked
you
out
made
5
it this
minutes in.
far, I think a good takeaway is that like you have nothing to hide. You can be your fullest self and your fullest expression always. And actually, that's exactly why you came into this body on this planet in this day and time.
Amen. Amen.
Mhm,
Period. End of story. If that is the message we put out there, Erin, that is all. If you fast forwarded all the way to the very end and that's all you took away from this, it is exactly that. And that is what I hope my book lets the reader walk away with. Like, I don't need to, what am I hiding? Who am I? What? God sees all of it. He knows he loves me.
hey, hey,
I
ain't
ain't
no
hiding
place to
from him.
hide.
He knows. He knows what I've done. So your little silly opinions, they
We
don't
love
matter.
you, but no thanks.
Yeah, amen.
We love you,
Here's
but no thanks.
My Haley Bieber.
So, I want you to be able to direct listeners to what are you doing right now?
Yeah.
Because yeah.
Okay, so right now I am back to having my coaching site up. MadreRomi.com is where you can go to book a coaching session with me. I am coaching my clients. I've stayed consistent with that. Although I deleted my Instagram and went away for the last year, I have been still coaching clients. And now I'm really putting myself back out there and open and pray that the book brings more people that feel comfortable to, want to do coaching with me. And obviously, I'm not coaching you to say, hey, I have it all together. Like, let me tell you how to do your life. I'm coaching you to hold a space for
Mm-hmm.
you to figure out how to
Mm-hmm.
find out what you want for your life. I'm just giving you a
Mm-hmm.
safe space. That is the gift that God has given me. And that is what our
That
sessions
part.
look like. Okay. It's
Yes.
not me telling you, I got it figured out and I'm about to give you a great plan. No. But if you need
But
someone
she
that
might
isn't
be
in your,
real. Give you a
yeah,
great.
but I might, but that's not what our space is for. It's
Yeah.
to hold space for you that you
Mm-hmm.
might not feel safe in your home or your relationship or your friends or your family. And you might need a stranger that you go, oh, she might hold some space for me to like get in touch with myself. And that's what I want to do for you. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
so madreromi.com for coaching. And my book is on Substack right now. The subscription started yesterday. There is a full circle subscription. So those who are involved in that will get a hard copy by the end of the book with some
Mm-hmm.
merch, and they can go on there and chat with me and communicate with me through the Substack, through the chapters. I am now reading it in my own voice. So if you're an audio person, you can also listen to it. I read the chapters, now. So there's that option. Substack's really beautiful, and having the control and releasing it weekly has been really powerful and beautiful until the full thing is complete and put together in a hard copy for my subscribers. But I feel like I'm also putting up images throughout the book with each chapter so you can visually see what I'm writing about, and it just feels like I'm taking the reader on a journey and really
Mm-hmm.
making it come to life for them. And I think that that's really cool that we have the technology now to do that, and I don't need to hand my life over to an editor to ghostwrite me and decide what they think would sell and sexualize me and tell me the parts that they think would be really good for the reader. I don't want you to do that. And that was where it felt like it was going.
Oh my God, that's so good.
So
So
it's on
good.
Substack, Romi Marie. You can subscribe. There's 5 chapters up, and every Wednesday morning, a new chapter goes up.
Perfect.
And
Perfect. Substack.
my Instagram is Romi Heron Beauty _. So my link is on there.
Awesome. Perfect. Great. So you have an opportunity to connect with Romi in identity coaching. You have an opportunity to learn more about her story on her Substack, and also, of course, on Instagram, you'll find her. And I want to also direct all of you to my social media. I'm across social media at I am Erin Patten. You can also work with me in my Divine Mentorship Program on my website, erinpatten.com. And of course, you can catch the Metabusiness Millennial podcast wherever you listen to your podcast and on YouTube. And this just concludes a fantastic, phenomenal, fantabulous episode with my bestie, with my sister,
I love you.
Romi Marie. And I just want to leave all of you all in so much joy and love and peace.
Yes.
Bye. Did you really love this episode of the Metabusiness Millennial podcast? Well, I am honored, and I appreciate you subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends, because your feedback allows us to co-create more enlightened conversations. And if you're interested in growing your soul now, head over to my website, erinpatten.com, to find all the show notes, links, and free resources to get your energy activated today. In the meantime, stay bright, my friends. Much love and light. Peace.